Hey guys, this is Jenna. The light does not work for the Facebook Live at all. Sorry I'm running a little behind. We had a client and Business Growth Network member in here recording videos, and the best video shot to record is right here on the same one. Screen on that. Look at the background. Shaky, shaky, shakerson. Like magic. Okay, it'll stop shaking here in a minute. Sorta. Is that a good angle? Not bad. For those of y'all who are just turning in and this is the first one that you've seen, the Facebook Live here in the group is like a secondary angle. I'll actually be training here. If I can adjust my screen. There. I feel like the lights are off. This is what happens when other people use your office space. Ooh. All right, let's try this again. Yesterday, I missed it because right after our live session, something went down with the internet and couldn't use it. It was really frustrating. I had my whole membership meeting in here with no internet. They didn't need to be listening to anything else besides me anyway. Still. Okay, there we go. So today, or the first one, I'm actually going to try to record two if I have time. I'm going to be talking about failure and how this is a good thing for your business. Because I feel like, and I'll get more onto that, a few too many business owners think failure is a bad thing and they're very broken. Okay, here we go. Got that all set? I don't even know why I'm worrying about it. I got the good mic. Fix the hair. So if y'all have any questions, literally just drop them in the comments on my phone. Facebook Live, it makes it pretty easy to see. So I've got like Jeremy here live. Woo. And we're gonna go ahead and let's see if we can get going. Got my notes up. All right, got the webcam. Let's actually make it smaller though. Can I make it smaller? Ooh. So when it's smaller, I can focus on looking at the camera more. Failure. I had no idea learning lessons are known as failure. Evening again, Jeremy. So you work with business owners. It's different. You already know the answer. Not everyone does, Jeremy. Hey guys, it is Jenna Afgar back again today, and today I wanted to talk about failure and how it is actually good for your business. And I already know the immediate reaction is we in business always want to be seen as these very accomplished, successful business owners, not just in business, but in life. Like, who wants to be seen as the person who failed and failed greatly, right? But in business, for a myriad of reasons that we'll go over, failure is a good thing. It really is a good thing. And I'll tell you a couple reasons why. The first one is, if you've never failed, you've probably accomplished next to nothing. Next to nothing. When I was playing varsity tennis, I remember I was always a first or second seed. For those of you who don't understand the concept of tennis, this is a good thing. You want to be first seed. This means you are the best. When I was in band, when I was playing the drums, it was called first chair, but you're always constantly battling your peers for this first seat. And it depends, or it matters when you go to tournaments who you get to play against. This could be a bad thing or a good thing, because the first seed is always going to go to the top players. But this was my doubles partner, and so a lot of times it was just really friendly, right? And I would fail all the time, meaning I'd lose a match. I lost matches at tournaments. I lost matches to even people below second seed. Not very often, but it happens, right? But we would go back and forth, but every single time I failed, if you take a moment, and this is something athletes know very well, and you go look back at the tape and you go and you look back at the match and you can see what went wrong. So sometimes it's just that you didn't plan. Like maybe you didn't bring your water, or maybe the sun was really high up and they played a game where they lobbed the ball into the sun a lot and you did terribly at it and you didn't have a defense against that. But then what happens? Is it really failure? Like, yeah, you lost that game. Athletes know this concept really well, but the next time you can identify what went wrong, and for the next week or so, you can practice and build a defense against the thing that failed, right? This is why football players, basketball players, the pro level are constantly watching tape. They're learning and they're understanding their competitors. They're learning and understanding themselves and what went wrong. So Daymond John is quite famously quoted as saying, "I didn't fail, I just gained a lot of data." So I think the word data sometimes gets lost and we don't realize it's like a lesson. It's information. And the other aspect is when we think about failure, failure's not always such a business term, right? It becomes a very personal thing, right? We're humans. And after being on the planet 36 years, one of the things that I've learned is by the time you hit 36, you have failed a lot. Especially if you just sat there and you watch Netflix, maybe you don't feel like a failure. But for those of us who've pushed, who are constantly taking the next step and testing limits, we failed grandly. And that was something that my mom taught me. She's crazy, don't get me wrong. She's crazy, and usually I'm like, what did she use? Oh, let's do the opposite. But in this one instance, I thought it was really interesting. She said Texans don't just fail, they fail spectacularly. Now, her particular point of reference was we built a super collider. Now, it turned it up like being a massive, like billion-dollar waste, a ton of work down the drain, in theory, right? But it was a spectacular failure. But we learned so much in the process of building. We learned so much as it applies to science. So much technology was built in the process of building the collider that went on to help other projects, to help other colliders actually succeed. So in business, failure is a good thing. Let me take a little step back from the business and let's go back to the personal side. I have to imagine, I know that growing up during your childhood, during your adolescence years, during those teenage years, and your younger years, and if you're older, all the way up in the 50s and 60s, maybe even, there's going to be failures. There's relationship failures, there's school failures, there's personal failures, there's business failures, there's financial failures. Every single one of those has a story. It's taught you something. So when I was growing up, drug addicted, opioid addicted mom, dad kind of head in the sand, right? When he remarried, type A student, I've lost all these privileges that I felt like I had earned doing everything right my entire life up to this point. And I just remember almost spinning out a little bit and, you kind of rebel. I mean, teenagers, you rebel. I rebelled spectacularly. And I got pregnant. And so I have a baby. I'm 17 years old. And I remember looking down at my beautiful daughter, Tiffany, who now goes by Caitlin, for those that are confused. But I'm looking down at her and I'm like, how in the world do I teach her the lessons that have made me strong? How do I teach her? Like, getting pregnant wasn't even a blip. It didn't affect me. I was so used to raising kids because I had been raising kids since I was 6 years old. This didn't matter, but how do I teach her these lessons I've learned the hard way to a little baby without her getting all the hardship? And the answer, and this is hard, is you can't. There are some lessons that have to be learned the hard way. When we were listening to Dean Graziosi talk, he was talking about it and he called it the success tax. There are some hardships that you have to go through to prove that you can handle success. Success is not easy. Leadership is not easy. Doing hard things every day is not easy. You will fail. And maybe you're in that failure right now. I'm looking at that baby. I was 17. I was a straight A student. I made great grades. I made zero money. But I had this baby. And how do you teach them the things? And in the military, we learned, and we called it, what was the word they used? They invented stress, fake stress. And that was how they were able to teach us hard things. But each one of those things that you go through, like learning how I had a baby at 17, that's great. But at 12 years old, I was already making bottles in the middle of the night. And sometimes I messed up. Sometimes I burned my little sister. That was not cool. She survived. She's thriving. And I was able to apply those lessons to my little girl. In business, oh my gosh, I failed so much. Something small, like it doesn't even always have to be big. So I bought all this paper. I was going to make brochures. I had gotten the templates offline to create the perfect graphics. I'd gone through all the time doing all the copy, and we're talking like days worth of work, not how I might pop it out in an hour or two now. Days worth of work making these brochures, and I print them out on my color printer. Should have gone to the printer, but whatever, that's another thing. And I print them out and they're folding terribly. This is what happens when you make your own brochures. Then it just was not working, and my aunt looked at me and she's like, you know what, Jenna, there's this paper lady, she comes to our office, let me ask her what's wrong. And so she goes and she talks to her paper lady, and the paper lady explains to me, I've got the wrong paper. And now part of me is like, no, I got the right paper. It's made for this kind of printer. It's made for this kind of ink. It's made for this kind of color. It's the right paper. And she's like, no. That's normal paper. And the way the grain is smashed is meant to be folded, lengthwise, so vertically in half. You need paper that's meant to smash horizontally. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's just paper. It's just flattened out pulp. And that's not the case. I ordered the wrong paper. My brochures looked less than professional. Again, I should have just gone to the printer, or now we have things like Vistaprint, right? And all the other printers that can handle this for us. But I learned that paper has a directional layout, right? And this was a really important fact for all my other printing needs. I now realize that paper is more complicated than is it printer paper with matte and gloss and color and laser. That paper is more complicated. I've used that lesson throughout on every other subsequent business I've had. I care deeply about paper. I even recently made the mistake again with my business cards, because I really don't care about business cards. But I had them printed and I gave them that soft finish. You can't write on them. Not the front, not the back. So if I need to write additional information, if that person wants to write why they got my business card, they can't write on them. So I try to get fancy. I try to get cool. It made my business cards useless. This is what failure does. This is why failure is really important to your business. And you don't have to make the failures now. We're going to send you through the path. We have the 90 days doubling your business challenge. Our goal with that is to help you circumvent as much failure as humanly possible. It is to help you get through the systems and the techniques and the frameworks and give you as much as possible the things that I've spent over a decade learning. More than a decade. I don't need to count. But we're doing that so that you can avoid all the pitfalls that most business owners, when they jump into this, that they fall into. They fall into, like, let me try to build a big business plan, and then they get lost and they get overwhelmed and they quit. They try to go, somebody was asking for like a marketing strategy, like you have a template, and it was like, the template's a lot simpler. It's already right here. You're just trying to overcomplicate it. We're going to simplify as much of it out, but you need to know that failure is going to happen. It is bound to happen. I was working yesterday on Double Funnel TV. We're building out funnels for free in the mornings when our time in between projects. And I did all this work. It was a great sales page. And I clicked off the page, or something happened, or I exited the space. And I didn't realize in Kartree you needed to save all the time. I was just getting into it. It's kind of our first time like really using it on a regular basis. All my work gone. Just gone. Building the second time was a lot faster because now you already worked through all the problems, you worked through all the copy, but now I know to save. So I need you to know that you're going to go through and you are going to fail at things. It's just going to happen. I need you to keep pushing through them. I need you to keep working on. But here's the second way that you can really benefit from this. You've already failed. Write down what you've failed at and what you've learned from all the things that you've already failed at. And really push yourself to ask yourself why you failed and be really honest about why you failed. Because it's really easy to blame outside sources. It's really easy to blame things that had nothing to do with the project. And then all too often we either make the next mistake which is we blame ourselves for things that weren't really failures. If I went and I tried to make, I don't know, a basketball layup, I haven't played basketball since 8th grade. I'm going to fail. I'm going to miss the shot. I'm a short white girl. I wasn't good at layups when I was on the team. I'm going to fail, and that's okay because I can acknowledge that I'm not a basketball player and I'm never going to be a basketball player. I'm going to stop for a second. Hey, Derek. Glad to see you here. I just need a moment. Let's flip over here. Where'd it go? Sorry guys, I am kind of like looking at the worksheet. If you have any questions, let me know, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything here. Okay, kind of got it. And I forgot where I stopped at. All right. So here's what I need you to also do. I need you to take a look at the different failures that have happened in the past that are holding you back. Here's what I need you guys to do. So a couple things. First one is I need you to identify the failures in your past that you think are holding you back right now. So yesterday we were kind of identifying the fact that we need you to believe. I want you to also document the failures that you've had in the past, how you can overcome them, how you can move past them, and what you've learned from them. And this is really important. I need you guys to learn how to learn from failure. Like the story I told with the paper, I learned that paper was directional. Like with Kartra, I learned that they had a process. You had to save early and save often has now become a mantra on Double Funnel TV. What can you learn from all your failures? And there's going to be things that you didn't know were the reason you failed at something, and we're going to cover a bunch of those on Double Funnel TV. There is a reason that while we're focusing on belief and mindset in week 1, that in week 2 that we're going to be going over how to build a vision and mission statement, how to build goals, how to document those goals, and how to set daily tasks so that you do every single day, every single week, every single month to help you avoid those failures. But when you do find yourself in failure, that you can overcome them very quickly and learn and use it as data. Data. The other aspect that I really need you to take through this is just freaking do it. I love the Nike, again, athlete. I'm going to kind of go back to that over and over again. But for Nike, everyone got caught up on the Colin Kaepernick, hope I'm saying his name right, advertisement that they did not too long ago. Everyone argued it pro or against, but what Nike did was absolutely brilliant, and they have stuck with this concept throughout the last 30 years that I've known Nike, and it's been very successful for them. They're saying their passion, their mission for athletes is just do it. Not think about it and come around to it and mull it over and analyze it and evaluate and then go try something and see how it goes. No, the concept was just do it, and this is why I love funnels as opposed to websites when it comes to some of these pages, is because you can just do it. You don't need to spend a year building stuff. There are so many businesses that failed spectacularly that I did. I tried to get into buying and selling children's toys and e-commerce before e-commerce sites were easy at all, before Walmart had an e-commerce site. I don't know what I was thinking. And one of the things that I did is I spent so much time building this business. I spent so much time just building. I probably spent a month just building the business plan. I spent all those time on the brochures. I went to the World Trade Center here in Dallas. I made purchases. I had to wait for them to come in from China before there was things like Alibaba and AliExpress. I had to do all this stuff. I spent probably a year building a business where I ended up just ultimately liquidating everything to save it. I spent all that time building it The things that we're going to be teaching you in the next 90 days, or I guess at this point, the next 88 days, is how to fail quickly. This is where funnels are awesome. I have a member who went through our very first 30-day challenge that we did. And he was actually in my office yesterday, and he was saying that, it's not working. Now, part of the problem is the system he was using. He's not even sure the system is working. But the thing with your different lead magnets, and we'll discuss what that is if you don't know what that is yet, is that not all of them are going to work. Not all of your business processes are going to work. Not all of your entry point offers are going to work. Not all of your core offers are going to work. Some of these are going to fail. I'm going to warn you now. Over the next 90 days, I'm going to help you avoid all those failures as much as humanly possible. I'm going to help you build it as fast as possible. But the thing that I also need you to understand is they're not all going to work. You have to drive traffic, you have to A/B split test, and sometimes you're going to have to do new things. So you have a core offer, you split something off for your first entry point offer, and then you're going to split something else for your lead magnet. So your stair step, and you don't need to know what that means. But that free offer may not work. But if you have a funnel page, you can replicate it in like 5 minutes, build a different version or a different thing for your lead magnet, and try again. In less than an hour total. And maybe your lead magnet is perfecto. The thing that's wrong with it is the headline, or the thing that's wrong with it is the copy, or the thing that's wrong with it is the traffic that you're sending and the words that you're using to send the traffic. Business systems are complicated. You are bound to fail. I need you to get used to it. I need you to, like Nike, just do it. And if I were saying it, just bleep, do it. Few F-bombs, right? Go through this stuff, do the process, and know that you are going to fail. What I need you to do is go back to the group, ask questions, utilize Google, try again and again and again. Take your systems that you're building through the process. When you get to your landing page, we're going to have a landing page checklist. We're going to have a landing page optimization checklist. So after you've built it, here are the things you can test. I don't care about your button color. Everyone wants to know what color should I use on my button? Probably orange, like Amazon, but it could be green. It doesn't really matter. If your copy has something amazing, and if it is an amazing offer that your specific avatar wants, they will trip over themselves, they will create friction, they will email you, they will call you, they will knock on your front door to find you if the offer is sufficient, if it is great, if it is compelling. They will get that lead magnet, or they will let you know they can't get it so you can give it to them the hard way, like old school, some snail mail or email, right? You're going to fail. I need you to learn from it. Things are going to break. We had one of our members who went through it, and she got her first sale. She was actually sitting here in our networking group, and she met someone, and she verbally, old school, the hard way, told somebody about her membership site, and they were like, I want to buy that. Oh my gosh, that is perfect. And they logged in. This was going to be her first sale, and they sat down, and they purchased it, and it didn't work. Got an error message. We were able to figure out that when she had set up Stripe, she set it up using a test key and not a live key, which meant it was good for testing your page, testing the checkout process, but it was never going to process money. Lost her first sale. But she figured out the problem. She can always go back to that person and ask for the sale again, and now she knows the problem. She can fix it. So on your worksheet, there's going to be several processes. It's going to be a checklist. The only major thing besides documenting these success and these failures and what we're learning from them is I'm going to be asking you to do something very important during this 90-day challenge. I need you to document your process. This doesn't need to be long. It can be done in 5 minutes. How you do it is up to you. We're going to be providing worksheets. You can keep those in a notebook, print them out. Like I said, old school, you can write on them, put them together. You can add notes to that workbook, just have it all in one place. If you're the kind of person who likes journaling, you can do those. For those people that are like Michael's, like me, that have the fancy journals with all the little discs in them and the stickers everywhere, you can do that as well. My favorite one is I actually like going into the Facebook group and creating what's called a corner. And this has been a thing that a lot of our students have done. We've done it with another platform through when we've done it through We Coach Kyvio. Each student creates a corner, and this is just going to be stick a picture up there in a Facebook post, call it your corner, talk about your ideas and what it is that you are building, and then every single time that you have a campaign to complete, just go create a new comment. Say this is campaign number 1, day 1, however you want to keep things sorted, and put your notes for that day. And then what I like to do in addition to that is everyone can comment under that day. So if you're struggling, you can tag people specifically to it. If you like to document, so one of the things that we're going to be doing is going through and looking at what your competitors are doing and spying a little bit. We're going to do a little human intelligence there, a little human. Go through there, take screenshots, upload them to your little Facebook corner in the Facebook group to document it is that you've been seeing. So you don't even have to keep separate Google Docs or Evernote or however you want to do it. I don't care. Just find a way to document your process to hold yourself accountable. The reason I like to get a Facebook group, and I'm going to harp on this, is you have an accountability group. So if you start falling off, if you've been really good and you're like day 1, day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you're knocking out of the park and week 3 hits and things start to get difficult and you stop posting, we can go back through and you can say like, hey, Tom, what you doing? You dropped off. What's going on? Oh, I had, a family issue. That's cool. Let's get back and start steering the ship, Tom. Let's get back to building your business so that you can have time to take off anytime. Because that's really the point of this, is you're going to fail. But let's build something so that when you have those hiccups, the business keeps going while you recover. Let's see, any questions? Think we're still good? Way to cap it off. So, oh, my stretching lesson. Somebody was making fun of that today. Oh. All right, guys. So I want you to go out there. I want you to fail spectacularly, but let's fail fast and let's fail forward and let's document it. Like I said, join us over in the Facebook group so we can all document each other's stuff, follow your failures and follow your wins. I'd love to see each one of you go over to the Facebook group and create your little corner. We'll have Jenna's corner going as well, and y'all can go in there, watch what I'm doing at the same time, watch my process as I build another little piece and add on more to our own business, and ask everyone questions, ask your own questions, and let's all help each other launch in 90 days and get to doubling your business in 2019. Bye, guys. All right, any questions? Y'all are so quiet. Y'all never have questions. Y'all just watch. Jeremy with his He Knows lesson. So I hope that was helpful, guys, for those of you who are on the Facebook Live. I will be re-recording here in another one. What did I have? Let's see if I can close this out. I'm so bad at using this. Done. That's probably the right word I need to do. Save video file. All right, so while that's working in the background, let's go over here and see the Facebook group. Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Watch and learn. I forgot what else I'm teaching. I have so many notes for everything. So that was the one that we were supposed to do Tuesday, and it just did not work out. This is my favorite. How to do it all. So I'm going to kind of recoup and get some fluids going, and I will be back here in about 30 minutes for how to do it all. The trick is you don't have to, but that's all cool. So if y'all have any questions, you can drop them in the comments below on this one. For those who get in live, the problem is if I schedule the live, I have to use BeLive. I have to use the computer. I guess I could try to do that, but I kind of like using my phone because I can see the comments more clearly. BeLive gets a little weird with the comments in the groups, and I can't tell who's watching, and the questions just aren't as easy to follow. So, hope that was helpful, guys. The videos will come down. I probably will not get to them. It's I have a lot going on this week, and so I probably won't be able to edit and download and do all the stuff that I need to do by the end of the day. But definitely by Saturday, the videos will come down. Sorry, guys. But I would love to see y'all guys in the 90-day coaching program that we're putting together for you. And that's probably going to be the cornerstone of not just the Business Growth Network membership and that particular training, but probably even the crux of our agency, as well as if people can't do some of the harder things, and we're going to get into, sorry, give y'all a shot of the logo for Digital Marketer. For those that are suffering through the landing page stuff or don't want to have time to build their own emails or just don't care to learn Kartra or whatever system that we happen to be using at the time, but we'll just have something where do it for them. So have fun with that, and I'll see you guys in 30 minutes. Bye, guys.